Hello and welcome back to Slick Willy Fly. So this is part two of a series where I'm tying some flies for my daughter. So I tied a couple of flies in the previous video and I said that I would make a head, that we would film making a head. So here we are, let's make a head. So for me, the very first step is obviously choosing the eyes, which I've already selected my eyes. I'm going to use these eyes right here, these hologram eyes. And what I normally do is I present them and I envision how it would look with a fly. And if I don't like them, I have a selection of flies. Now these I bought in the United States. So these are 1/4 of an inch. The eyes that I purchased in Sweden tend to be metric. But doesn't really matter. I think you understand what we're doing. So let's just get in on it. So how do I do this? Well, the very first thing that I do is I use the bead as a guide. And I have a couple of different consistencies UV resin. So I'm using a thicker UV resin. And all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to place one drop where the eye would go. Just like that. Then I'm going to take my eye and I'm going to present the eye. And just to avoid having my fingers getting in the way here and getting all nasty, if I'm going to do any moving, I tend to do it with my bodkin. I think that looks pretty good. Look at it compared to my hook, a little lower. I think that looks better. And then I hit it with the UV lamp, torch in some countries, and just lock it in place. They say 5 to 10 seconds it's locked. I'm not in any rush, so I tend to go longer than 5 to 10 seconds. And now I do the exact same procedure on the opposite side. You know, the key to making good looking heads is to not be rushed. That's just a simple fact. Layers, you don't have to use a ton of resin at one time. I never do. The resin doesn't get hard until you hit it with the lamp. So if you're not happy with the way it looks, just fix it. Keep working it until you're happy with the way everything looks. And then once you're happy with how it looks, and I'm pretty sure I am, then you hit it with the torch, the lamp. I like saying torch. We don't say torch in the United States. But that will lock it in place, so now it's not going to move. So now what I do is I use that same heavier consistency resin, and I put a good dot or clump or whatever you want to call it, blob, between the eyeballs. And here I like to let gravity assist. I do use my bodkin somewhat to move it around, just to make sure that it's all over between the eyeballs. And once I'm happy with that, I zap it. And now we do the same thing on the bottom. Interesting story about this cocktail I'm drinking today. So my daughter sent me a recipe. And it's not bad. Not sure how I feel about it. Not sure if I like it or not yet. First time I make it. But don't think it's going to replace my rum and coke. Let's put it that way. I think at the end of the day, I'm a rum and coke guy. Now, I tend to use gravity quite a bit. I think that moving and turning the fly gives you that silky smooth, really just awesome finish that you're looking for. I think that looks great right there. That's a very nice head right there. So that I'm looking for that silky smoothness, but more important than that, I'm looking to make sure that when this fly gets attacked by a fish, that the eyes don't pop off. I want this fly to be durable. So now what I'm going to do is I'm switching to a thinner consistency, and I'm going to put a generous blob, for lack of a better word, right dead on the eyeball. And I'm going to use my bodkin, and I'm going to work it off the edges. Off every edge. Just working it off the edges. Because what that does is now I know that this eyeball is locked in. I think I need a little more. Now, we're not talking about brands here. There's a million brands of UV resin. Tons of brands. So, whichever one you like. I happen to have some that I like better than others. But I'm trying to stay away from discussing brands on this channel. I'm just trying to be a little bit generic. And so far no one wants to sponsor me anyway, so why talk about brands? But anyway, so as you see, I spin my fly in both directions. I think it's important to spin in both directions if you want that silky smoothness. And now I'm going to hit it with a lamp, but I'm not hitting just the one side. I'm hitting it from all angles. Gotta make sure that this cures nice and hard. Now we do the opposite side. Same routine. Good generous blob. That's the thing about me. You're gonna find out that I don't know how best to explain this. I don't necessarily think like the average person. I think that there's a lot of stuff that people do that's a little unnecessary. And I don't really care. Whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat, go for it. I just think that I like keeping things simple. Like this fly right here. It's 2 colors of craft fur, a couple of feathers, and a little bit of flash. Can't get more simple than that. And inexpensive, really. Everything in this fly is in very inexpensive material, and the packages that I purchase will tie tons of flies. So you really can get your value out of the materials, plus just the fun of doing this and catching fish on flies that you tie. That's really the most fun part. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put a little thin coat on the whole entire fly, and just making sure that everything got coated. And now I'm really going to just use gravity, and I'm going to make sure that nothing went in that hole. That hole has to stay open. But Now we're going to use gravity for a few seconds. You know, you really can shape they make a lot of different consistencies on UV resins, so you really truly can shape the heads differently. You know, you can make much more blunt, and I have a video where I tie flies for pike. Those are much wider and much more almost like a flat face, because I'm really trying to push water with those. I'm of course trying to push water with this fly, but I don't have that same idea for this fly. So now I'm just hitting it with the lamp one last time, and I'm gonna really give it a little extra time. I hope my daughter and her friends are gonna use these with a lot of success and have a great time. I'm super excited that she's taken a few friends fishing. She's actually going to a river, which I'm not going to name, in Sweden, where her uncle was at the river a week ago, and he caught, like, I'll put the picture in the video. He caught about, it's got to be approaching 8 pounds. It's got to be an 8-pound rainbow trout. It's a beautiful rainbow trout. And that sucker's still swimming. So there's a chance they can run into it again. My daughter and my uncle and I have taken my daughter a lot of times, so she knows the section of the river that we like to fish. She knows where that fish came out of. Maybe it's still hanging around, maybe it's not, I don't know. But he did release it, so there's always a chance. And that fish was caught on an orange and white Big Tasty, just for information. So if you Google my Big Tasty flies, and I have one where I blended colors, you'll see how to blend, and then you just tie orange and white, if that's something you're interested in. But here it is. I think the head came out pretty good. Beautiful, actually. And that's a cool fly right there. And here's the other one. So here's both of them. And I'm really think my daughter's gonna have a great day with these flies. And thank you for watching. Hit the like and subscribe. Come back and watch some more videos with me and some more cocktails. I think I might actually make a cocktail video, so that could be a little bit of fun too. We do cooking, so why not a cocktail? If you guys have any tips or any specific kind of fly that you want to see, put it in the comments and we'll tie that fly. Thanks again for watching. Hope you have a great time, and see you in the next video.